they change your hours. So when they're looking at the bills, it looks like you picked it up 5 days ago when you're in Ohio.
But the fucked up part is how when like a CHP or whatever they're trying to audit you out. How the hell are you gonna explain or get all those logs? There's no way.
Well, I mean, if you run, it
Who
depends.
cares?
If you run, well, if you're changing them, or if you're running like double, that's a good question. Because I honestly have not done this. Like I know, like personally, people that do it. I've never done it, but that is a good question, right? Because if you're running a double logbook, if you're changing your sign, then it does make sense because they can never catch you because you're running on a completely different sign, different logbook, right? But if you're just editing
then-
your logbooks, then that might get a little tricky to where they. I mean, if they request a printout, right? Wouldn't it like show it?
Yeah, but what's the worst they're
No.
going to do to you?
No,
Dude, that's a
So
serious
they're gonna do
violation,
to
dude. Like,
It
your
is,
company
it
will
is.
get in
Yeah, but
trouble
what
for
are they
that
going to
shit.
do?
the violation
so
was
let's say-
calculated by the colleges, like the college, the law students. They're the one. They give it to be like, okay, you guys are the one. You guys should decide like what kind of violation or punishment should goes to the person who is driving, like not driving with like a massive hours like that, like being sleepy and all. So they came out with a really serious violation, but I never seen nothing like that happen though.
Yeah, but who cares? If you've got company A, B, and C is dormant, and A and B are fucking just switching numbers and fucking around,
Yeah, but it's
and
not
then
that
you
easy.
lose
No,
A.
it's not that easy, bro. Because once you say you got a driver, right, and you switch them to a different MC number, like you're saying, that's on the driver's record, right? So
Exactly,
so
Bobby.
next time he stops,
Yeah, but
they
they don't
run
give
his
a fuck
fucking
about
record.
the
They see
driver.
that they're gonna look into that company more because now they already seen that this driver has this on his record. So it's kind of like being a criminal, having a criminal record, and you get pulled over by the police department. And if you have, like violence or whatever, they're gonna be like more strict on searching you and pulling a gun out to make sure they're safe. So it's like, like sure you could do it a couple times, but eventually they're gonna, the cops are gonna be like, okay, this guy has two fucking same log fucking whatever shit. So and for every company he drives for, he does this. So they're gonna be busting these companies left and right, dude. You can't just keep getting in trouble for
No,
that.
I get it, but no, I get it, but that's not my point. The point is, if they don't give a fuck about the driver and they don't give a fuck about the company, and they're not trying to build anything, and they're just trying to make as much money, who gives a fuck if the driver gets busted in the company? They got to shut the doors. They just
Because it's not, dude, it's
open
not
another
cheap
one.
to keep on opening new companies, dude. Like, we're gonna just keep buying new companies and keep switching insurance. That's fucking expensive, dude. That's not cheap.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
don't know.
You
I mean,
know?
if you're running 3 times as much freight illegally, I mean,
Even then, it's not. Okay, so for opening a brand new company, you already know how many days you gotta wait to open up the DOT, and then you gotta wait. Once your DOT open, then it takes 15 to 20 days for your insurance to get active.
There
Right,
you
and
go.
Not
then
if you buy
nobody
someone's
wants to
DOT.
work with you because your
Well, you could just
authority is
buy. You
not
could just
even
buy
6
them.
months old.
You could just buy an MC, bro, and just switch it over, dude. I mean, that's
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
and you can
you
also,
can.
you can
Okay,
also,
so I seen one of this
you can
video.
use
This
your
guy was
authorities.
like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to overtalk nobody. So this guy was in the parking lot, and he was literally switching DOT and everything, right?
yeah.
I dig in. I was like, yo, I want to find out because that everything was visible. So I want to find out. I love calling cops, man. I called
What?
them. I called the scale. I was like, hey, so
Damn,
how
you're
I
a
can do
snitch,
that? Like,
bro.
let's say, huh?
You can't be snitching out here like that, dude.
I'm not snitching on them. I was like, yo, if somebody has to change the signs in the company, how I can do it? Like, let's say I'm out of service and I gotta get out, right? What can happen? What I can do to be still run legally, right? Here, the cop was freaking awesome. I'm from California, right? He's like, here's one of the things that you can do since you are out of service, right? You cannot do anything. You cannot run the same truck until the time provided. But if you can lease it, your company to some different company who is running pretty good and all that, you got to get that paperwork, right? And it be all paperwork stamped and all that. It's leased to that company. So your company's stopped and you running your truck under their company and leasing paperwork are legal, you can switch signs legally and nobody can do nothing about it.
Oh, makes. But then how you gonna? But then if you have two drivers on two separate, I mean, basically it doesn't really matter, right? Because you could have the same driver in multiple companies, The only thing you probably have to pay extra for is the occupational hazard insurance, right? If you're 1099, I'm guessing.
That's only if you get caught.
Yeah, there you go. That's what was going through my mind. And the best way the driver should do that is through a 1099.
See, but this puts me
Hey,
between
Bobby?
a rock and a hard place, dude. Because, like, when I started trucking, like everybody was falsifying their paper logs. You know what I mean? That was a normal thing. Like when I was dispatching trucks, like if I had drivers that if I didn't give them 1,000 miles a day, 900 miles a day minimum, they'd be pissed off at me. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of like I'm between a rock and a hard place, is because like I kind of like agree with like trying to push the limits to make some extra money, but at the same time, it's like I guess it's kind of fucked up to say, but then like, but if you come here illegally and you do it and then you hurt somebody, like it's bad. But at the same time, I have to say it's bad if you're here legally and do it and hurt somebody as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just fucking.
I don't get it. Anybody in their right mind should rather run 250 miles for $1,000 and fuck off the rest of the day than run 700 miles for $1,200.
Well, yeah, but if you're running 700 miles for 2,500 bucks, then that makes sense. But the driver really don't care, because like the drivers really should just care about miles, right? If they're a driver, like if you're speaking on the side of an owner operator. So if you're owner operator, you're owning your equipment, is going to make more sense to you to whatever your minimum 1,000, 1,200 hours per day. You know, the less miles, the better. That makes sense. But if you're a driver and you're depending on getting miles, you want to run the miles to get the biggest check possible. So it's kind of like two different sides of the coin, you know.
I just don't get how you can run a truck that cheap.
Well,
I agree.
Well, we
I
already
agree.
figured that out. You know, you hire people, you pay them 30 cents, you bring on these visas, pay them 30 cents less, you give the broker 10 cents less to beat the competition,
Right.
and you're still up 20 cents. You know what I mean? So we kind of already figured
Yeah.
that part
Here's
out.
how California does it. So like behalf of like some of the drivers that I find out that I love talking to, right? Like, yo, how much you getting paid and stuff from California and all that. So California does not cover drivers who are less than I think 1 year driver license older and whatever, right?
Mhm.
So they put insurance on the person who have like over 2 years old or 1 year old, right? And the other person who's a trainee or whatever, they get along, but not covered under an insurance.
Yeah, so you shouldn't
And
be doing shit like that, bro.
way
Because like
less.
once you start getting into not covering insurance, just pulling sneaky shit like that, that's when shit gets fucked up. Really quick, because
Exactly.
Crusader said you can't buy
I got a
MCs
question
nowadays. It's
for you.
different. Crusader, I could buy 10 MCs tomorrow if I wanted to, bro. What are you saying? You could 100% buy MCs, and it's easier than ever, bro. And you can still keep all the old information, email addresses, everything, bro. Super easy to buy an MC if you
I
wanted
needed
to.
that.
Exactly.
Hey, let me ask you something. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Bless you.
we got a guy. I'm an owner operator. We got a guy that runs 1,000 miles a day, and I don't, and they're cheating the logs, and I have the opportunity to do it. I really don't like to do it, but every now and then it just works out. However, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, how in the world doesn't a DOT guy come in and do the audit for the IFTA? And if he's doing the audit for the IFTA and he's looking at a guy driving 1,000 miles a day, aren't they going to catch him? Aren't they going to catch him with the IFTA?
Yep.
Hey, Trucker World, could you? I mean, your background noise is pretty bad, buddy.
Okay, okay. If I may,
I live where you guys live. There's a shop in Western Florida, $100 an hour. I'm not gonna get off there, so it's the end.
Okay, I'll put you on mute, and I'll invite you to unmute when you're ready. Okay.
okay, if I may, the IFTA is only, there's two central purposes for IFTA. The first one is fuel tax, and the second is insurance. Because what the insurance company wants to know is what their risk factor is. So they want to know what miles you're running in each geography
State.
location.
Yeah.
What's that, Bobby?
Each state, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing IFTA wants. And the IFTA does not have anything to do with DOT hours of service or anything like that. That is a totally separate audit. And here's the problem. The states, provinces have cut their inspection audit people back due to budget situations probably by 40%. And the only way somebody is going to get an audit in most cases is if they have an at fault fatality incident, which will by default trigger an audit.
Or a new entry audit, which is basically done online now anyway. So
Exactly.
I
yeah, it
got you.
doesn't
I
matter.
got you.
Hey, what's up, Private Stock? What's going on?
What's up, Bobby?
Not much.
It's your favorite
so
cow
let me-
holler here.
Oh
Let
shit.
me ask you something else. This is on a little bit different, but in regards to
Wait,
the medical
who's
card,
talking now?
I was-
Who's talking? Sorry, because I don't see the
it's
pictures.
Fat
Okay.
Pine.
Gotcha. Go ahead, buddy.
So I was thinking about how they're going to catch these illegal guys. Why can't they send a message out, since it's FMCSA, when they have to get a medical card? Then the examiner simply tells them, "I'm sorry, I can't issue you a medical card because you don't speak English." Why can't they do that?
I mean, because I don't. That's rough. Expecting a doctor to,
Yeah, but there's privacy issues there, Bobby. That's
Oh yeah,
that-
the HIPAA
okay,
or whatever the
yeah.
fuck it's called,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but that's federal. I mean, that's federal.
yeah, but
And
but
then-
at the end of the day, if I may, your comment is valid, but again, there's only so many incidents issues that they can look at once, and that is a pertinent issue. And ICE is more involved when that because it's federal than a state and/or a provincial.
I would also add, doctors' number one thing is like, how am I not going to get myself sued?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like-
Yeah. And
Well,
that's,
everything that they're doing now, it seems like they would have the power to easily tell them, just like they're using AI, that AI is going, when ICE is going in, they already have the information and they know the person through AI and face recognition. It seems like they could utilize that same technology and really come at this, from another angle. I'm just trying to think of
But-
how they can roll.
but they don't have to do
empower
that.
them.
They literally have. I mean, you got a CDL fucking license. You are in the system. They know everything about you. Like literally, they could just go look you up and take your shit, but they're refusing to do it. So I mean,
Okay.
so they don't
Okay.
need to do the medical stuff. I mean, I get what you're saying, but again, Roger's right because I think it's HIPAA, right? The HIPAA violates the HIPAA Act, where the doctors can't disclose information to
Yeah.
patients, whatever.
Exactly.
So they can't do that. But like, we don't need to do anything. We don't need. We literally have them in the database. We have every information. They can just go back and take their shit. But then you got like this shit that comes out. I think it came out today, where this HB1 shit just bullshit to what this administration just did. They're not going back on it. It's only shit forwarded from September 21st and on, and they're they're gonna be charging $100,000. That's great. A lot of this stuff is good, but go back and clean this shit up, and problem solved. But
Well,
they just don't want to do
here's
it.
another one, Bobby. Take a look what President Trump was saying about Ukraine, and then last night he comes out that Ukraine can bomb the hell out of Russia.
Well, he
Like,
didn't say
talk
that.
about-
He said they asked if they fly in their airspace, should they be able to shoot them down? He said yes. Which I mean,
He expanded on that today, though, Bobby,
did he today? I didn't
Ex-
hear him today. I was in
Yeah.
Texas.
as
Oh.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Oh,
a whole bunch of shit going on that I'm not really, we'll see what happens, but I mean, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Fourth quarter is a couple days away, right? So we will see. We will see. But right now, I don't know, man. Crypto took a shit, last few days as well. Started going back up a little bit. I think we just need more, more rate cuts. We'll see. But I mean, I do see the market reacting a little bit in trucking. So Chicago's been the hottest it's been in a long time. So I don't know, man.
Well, you're not going to see Bobby. You're not going to see a big change till the tax is paid at the end of this month, right?
What do you mean?
Especially in trucking.
What taxes?
Well,
Yeah, what
because
Texas?
in the warehouse, you get certain states dictate how much tax is paid by your shit in your warehouse.
What is that for? Like customers you're talking about? Because the trucking companies don't have to do that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
it's
shippers,
not-
manufacturers. right?
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking about the other day, if it's in a container, it's technically in transit.
Exactly.
You're not going to pay that warehouse tax.
Yeah, or Chicago popping, but they ain't paying, bro. I don't know what boards you were looking at today, dude, but I could have gave you 2 loads to Memphis today for a bunch of money to another good market. But Chicago was definitely hot today, dude. Definitely hot. Oh, so which is crazy. But yeah, I'm not familiar with the warehouse in Texas, so I was not even. I think you mentioned it before. Now that I think about it, but yeah, is that why they have the end of the month pushes all the time?
Exactly, Bobby.
And it's monthly?
especially in the quarter, right?
Okay, yeah, especially in a quarter.
Yeah, and what they'll do is that that gentleman was 100% right, because when I worked in South Texas, what I would do is I would get every trailer I could and put the SHIT in the trailer, and that way I didn't have to count it. I marked it as in transit,
It
right?
makes sense too, because a lot of the customers right now, they want trailers sitting there, and they want to use them for storage.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping that shit in their warehouse. Damn, look at these little damn tax evaders, bro.
How's the Laredo market looking? I'm headed down there right now.
Big
I
tax
don't. Do I have the map up? Let me see if I can tell you. What do you got? Drive in.
Yeah, I run chemical hazmat, 90% hazmat.
Are you gonna stop at the Big Texan?
The Big Texan is actually up in Amarillo.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm going to Laredo. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm coming across Louisiana from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't be near, but I love the Big Texan. That's a great place.
Man, I remember that place back in the 80s, and I remember the Cadillac Ranch when it had all the windows in those Cadillacs. You know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those Cadillacs, they were buried nose first, sir, and they were all together.
Yeah,
but Laredo's
I
not
know
looking not looking too good for dry vans, bro. Maybe you're gonna get lucky with that hazmat stuff. But according to the map, I mean, 1,393 loads, 280 trucks, but that's not accurate. So not too great for dry vans. But like I said, hopefully you'll maybe get lucky with the hazmat stuff. So we will see. Did you guys
I'll
get a
be
dose
there
check?
Friday.
What dose check? I didn't get no check, bro. What do you guys think about this peak season? Your buddy Crusader's asking Roger.
What are you talking about?
What do we think about the peak season coming up?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He's asking,
Feeders.
what do you think is going to happen? If there's going to be a peak season, or is it going to be shitty? Or
I asked him to call the Indian guy in Saskatoon.
Wait, what's the other one? Saskatchewan? No, I don't even.
Yeah.
Too many Saskos, bro. You guys sound fucking. I don't even like Russian or something, dude. At this point, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think the peak season, with the CPI is so high, the ratio with CPI and GDP is way high. That we're overloaded on the highest rate right now with 1.5 trillion in credit card debt. So I think this as far as the peak season comes, people are using credit cards to pay for their groceries. So I think it's going to be a bad season.
I mean, I hope not, dude. But yeah, I mean, I did see the. I mean, I don't know the exact
I'm
numbers, but yeah,
I'm just talking just from a numerical perspective, because the consumer price index is what drives that GDP, and from all those numbers, honestly, I'm making it out here because I'm trading crypto. I mean, I'm driving for fuel money right now. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're the only one, dude. I think a lot of people are in a bad situation. But I mean, the last few months, I mean, I've been like really closely keeping track on our numbers, and they are going up, and we are finally like in the green after a long time. So I have hope, and then I mean, maybe people just max out the rest of their credit cards over the fourth quarter. we'll limp across somehow, dude. But I don't see us having a bad fourth quarter, man. Honestly, I don't. I understand your numbers. I do understand that, credit card debt, I think, went up like $1 trillion or some crazy shit, right? Like that since the pandemic.
Yeah, it's at 1.5. It's higher than it's ever been.
No, I'm saying I think it jumped $1 trillion since the pandemic, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh well, either way, we're both in agreement. I mean, it's off the charts.
Yes. I mean, I don't know the numbers exactly, but yes, it has been rising. 'Cause I think right, like during the pandemic, we're like at the lowest like we've been at it in a while. And I know it just skyrocketed ever since then. So we'll see.
Take this shit.
Well,
People pay with
you're
credit cards
right.
because U.S. runs off of credit. If you have good credit, you can't live like. Yeah, Radkey, Kamalda, but dude, eventually that shit comes to an end, bro. You're gonna run out of credit unless you're micro carriers. They
Yeah.
have all this funding from their stocks. I'm doing great consolidating freight. Every time I leave Chicago to California, double bubble. Hey man, do what you gotta do to survive, Brian Gardner, bro. It is what it is, man. I don't blame you, dude. I do not blame you. I think more people should be doing that too, man. A lot of people are not taking advantage of. I know brokers are gonna be pissing out like it, but why not, dude? If you can make some extra money and you can do it without getting in trouble or ruining anything, just go ahead and do it, man.
Hey,
yeah,
Bobby Lords, there's this guy named Mr. Sammy the dog. He said something about pharma load. Can you pick him up? I trying to see, like, I never seen a single pharma load in 2 years. Like
who is it?
pharmacy, like all the medic. It's called the Mr. Sammy the dog, talking about pharma loads for reefer pays good. Where he get it from? Like I didn't see no fucking pharma
Oh,
pharma
they're
loads
usually the
anywhere.
pharmacy loads usually don't make it on a load board, bro. Very rarely, dude. That's like direct customer shit. You usually need reefers. They'll pay top dollar for one pallet, dude. A lot of times to haul that shit, but
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I got paid a lot for like hauling those vitamins and stuff, and
yeah.
even hauling, freaking on the COVID time, I hauled those
Well, hey
mass
Brian
so
Gardner, if you
many
need one in
freaking
Chicago
times.
ever, hit me up. DM me, bro. I'll get you some cross-dock work done for you, bro.
Well, in regards to pharmacy, Trump is bringing all this stuff back to America, and Eli Lilly, they're building a $6.5 billion plant in Texas. So, I think, which makes all the sense in the world to, obviously, why do we want our enemy making our pharmaceuticals? But anyway, all that stuff is coming back, so I would see something like that picking up.
Yeah, cause like
But that, yeah.
the entire bullshit about the taxes was like it's real. Like I don't know, like a lot of people are against it, but some.
You cut out, bro. You there? Oh, he was gonna say something, then gone. Then what was this, Mr. Sammy the dog Flores? It's a wild name. You in here? All right, 2 people gone, dude. All right, who else is left? Who's
Where's
in here?
Ron been?
Ron? I don't know, but don't summon him, bro.
No, I didn't.
Him and Happy fell off together, bro. I think Happy was his entertainment fuel, dude. Because after that, he just crashed and burned, dude. After that one, dude.
I'll tell you something crazy.
What's that?
During the COVID thing, they were saying that the COVID shot doesn't have chloroform, and I was hauling 17,000 pounds of chloroform every Monday to the big shot maker down in Alabaster, Alabama. So that bullshit about no chloroform and that COVID C-19 shot, that's total bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't take it. I would not give it to my kids. I just didn't trust it. And then that's another thing. Hey, Trump's the one who came out with like was Operation Warp Speed and all this. I don't care who came out with it, bro. Like I just was not gonna take it because I seen like how long it takes to manufacture it and come up with those things and test them, and then you're gonna say this shit's ready that quick. I'm sorry, dude. I would take my
But
chances.
I couldn't agree more because it has tamarisol. It's the mercury preservative that is the shot that they were saying, is a direct relation to all the spectrum autistic disorders.
Yeah, but did you hear they just came out with the Tylenol, dude? Like, dude, that was such a. I was so disappointed, like when RFK just dropped that with because I mean, dude, there's no way, dude. Like, you're gonna tell me Tylenol is what gave kids like, I don't know if I can even this autism. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get the shit restricted, but whatever. They gave kids like autism, like, and you're gonna tell me like all these different like vaccines for the whole time. You're gonna tell me you didn't look into any of that, and you didn't find nothing to connect it with that. Like, I'm starting to get a little skeptical with this administration a little bit, bro. I still wouldn't change my vote again because the other shit was like definitely not it. But there's a lot of stuff I'm not liking right now, dude.
There are problems with it. I don't know enough about this, but it's a lot of people are allergic to it, And, to me, giving a child, these mega booster, the MMR, the measles, mumps, rubella, the standard vaccines, they give them to them at, what?
Oh, you're breaking up really bad, buddy. All right, I think we lost
I
him.
didn't think they.
Oh, you're breaking up super bad. Joey, bag of donuts, you on here?
Yep.
What are you, cowboy? Are you real life cowboy?
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
I ride. I rode bulls when I was younger. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I just popped in because you said something that I wanted to correct.
Okay.
Trump and RFK did not say that acetaminophen
Okay.
causes autism. They said it is a contributing factor.
Well,
Even if they relied on a Harvard study, and even the manufacturer of Tylenol says that women should not take Tylenol when they're pregnant.
okay. I mean, I get it, but I was expecting okay. I'm sorry if I misspoke that it wasn't directly Tylenol's whatever ingredient in it, but I was expecting a lot bigger news than Tylenol. You know what I mean?
Well,
I agree.
they got the Harvard study to fall back on by saying acetaminophen is a contributing factor. There's been resistance to look at the vaccines that we give kids. When you and I were growing up and we got vaccines, I think we got something like 12,
Yeah.
and now they're up to like 30.
Yeah, it's crazy shit, dude. Yeah.
Bobby,
Yep.
And so, even RFK says that there are some good vaccines, but they've been proven over a long period of time. But you can also see the rise in autism with the rise in general bad health amongst people. Because
First time I ever met anybody with autism, I was I'm 41 now. So the first person I met with autism was my buddy's little brother, and I must have been like 17, 18 at that time. That was the first person I ever met with autism, and just from there, it just kind of seemed like it just kept like happening more and more. And then you had like those that little ribbon come out, right, with the little puzzles and shit. And I mean, dude, I don't know unless I'm crazy, but that shit just came out of nowhere, no?
I have a granddaughter that it was diagnosed as being on the spectrum.
Okay.
She's 20 years old, okay? When I'm 62, when I was growing up, they didn't call it autism. They just said, he's just not completely there. He's a slow learner. He's got it used to be, he's a slow learner. You got to show him.
For them to have 12.
But then it became ADHD, and now everything is autism.
Well, ADHD is, I don't know. I don't want to get all like crazy on here because I have to probably already shadow banned for this conversation we're having. But yeah, dude, a lot of the stuff that comes out, dude, a lot of ADHD, I'm not saying it's not real, but a lot of ADHD shit back in the day, just throw your kid in the backyard and have him run around for a fucking hour and see how ADHD like is afterwards. You know what I mean? Like it's absolutely. They tried pushing that shit on me too because I kept getting in trouble. But I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna be, dude. Like my mom like got me in trouble like through courts. They took me and they had me like try some like fucking weird ass like depression pills or something. I took one pill. I was fried for like 3 months. I'm like, dude, I'm never taking this shit again. Like that's just.
They tried to say that my youngest son had ADHD, and we just flat out told him, no, he doesn't. You're not challenging him. We got him into AP classes, and he was challenging, and all of a sudden he wasn't a problem anymore.
Yeah, happens. All right, Bob Bradley, I'm sorry, but I know you've been trying to say something, so go ahead.
Actually, I was just listening, but I guess I'm new here. I'm a I own a freight brokerage.
Boo! You gotta cap the broker. No, I'm just joking.
boo.
What's up, buddy?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry,
We're teasing you.
We're just joking around. because we make fun of Captain Freight Brokers, but we don't really mean it. Go ahead, sir. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Believe me, I'm used to that. That's fine. So I was yeah, I've got 4 offices, so and about 89 agents.
Oh wow, that's good. It's a big operation you got going on there. Maybe we can ask you a lot of questions then, dude. So are you guys averaging 80% rips on the carriers?
I just gonna say that.
If I was making 80%, I
You
would
wouldn't
have
be
to
here
work
talking
for
to me
about
on
2 weeks.
TikTok Live,
That's
that's for sure. So like, in all honesty,
I
like,
would not.
what's the average? It's under 20, right? If you average like through all your agents, you would say, or is it about like? We're sorry, we're not trying to ask personal questions, but you're a good person like to bring
No,
up.
I will be. Sure, I'll be totally transparent with you. Now,
Mhm.
it'll be up to you to decide to believe me or not. That'll be totally up to you. But in this market right now, about 13.83 is my
That's good.
average.
That's a
There
solid
you go,
number.
Bobby.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean,
There,
'cause-
remember I kept saying I'm at 14%.
yeah,
There
no, I
you go.
agree with you. In my opinion, if you're averaging 20% and you're actually like doing like numbers, like volume, 20% is absolutely killing it. You know what I mean?
I agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we move about 5,000 loads a month.
Oh wow, yeah. So
Sir,
you're
I
a big
commend you for
operation.
your honesty. Right
Well,
there.
again, that's up to you guys if you believe me or not. I don't have any. I could have just as easily have said 21% or 8% or whatever. But as of today, that was our average margin. And we have extremes. You know, we have loads we lose money on. We have loads we make money,
Yeah, of
more
course.
than that on.
No, see, because
Uh,
like what I get super mad about is all these people like crying, like put like a cap. Like, could you since okay, like I believe you sound like, you know what I mean, you sound professional. There's no reason for you to jump on here and lie. So as a freight broker, right, if they were to cap you at 3%, would that even cover your overhead and employees?
No, I'd go broke. I'd be
Exactly.
out
Yeah,
of
you know
business.
that, Bobby.
I would-
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, I'm aware
No,
of this.
there's no way.
Hopefully there's somebody listening that,
So let
that
me-
understands this.
Oh yeah, you could literally take. I can invest money in T-bills and get 4%
Yeah,
annual.
you know, and that's
So-
like, I know it's very low end. I think it's even like 4.5%, 5% right now, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So you could put money in a local bank CD and get 4.25. You see where I'm going though. So
Yeah. No, I
my
completely.
point
get it.
is, you're not gonna. You can't annual now. You got. I mean, I don't obviously have near the costs that when I ran trucks what I had.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. You go through every kind of cost in the world. I'm preaching to the choir, telling you guys the cost on trucks.
Yeah, but I mean, but
But-
then what about?
But we do have costs.
Everybody keeps on saying that. Oh, the drivers, they got to pay for the insurance for the truck breakdowns. But then explain to them, if you have a big customer and you take $1 million of their freight from them, they close their doors tomorrow. Who's responsible for that $1 million?
Bingo.
Yeah, I got hit for 424,000. 6 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Harvest Meats.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can pull it up. They were huge. Sprouts stopped doing business with them, and they closed their doors.
Yeah, and then people don't understand
And
that.
the
Like,
carriers still had to get paid. So
yeah,
Yeah,
if they're
I
still in
got hit
business,
for
obviously it did.
157 US, and they're the 40% conversion at that time. That kicked the shit out of me, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't get it because they think like, oh, my engine will break, and then I'm like, yeah, that's great. Your engine breaks, you got a $20,000 thing, and you think you're taking all the risk, but you don't understand like what happens. Like if you were a freight broker, like freight gets stolen, insurance this, insurance that, overhead, responsibility, like for like the customers, keep staying in business or not paying you out. I mean, dude, there's a lot of like people just think it's that easy. If it was that easy, then go find your own customers. You won't have to worry about working brokers. You could drive your truck with customer freight all day, but obviously you can't because it's not that easy.
100%. Brokers obviously would not make it without truck drivers, but there's a lot of truck drivers that would not find a backhaul. I know everyone hates the word backhaul, but find a place to get them to where they have customers.
Exactly. Good
Right to
choice
say
of
that.
phrase. The
Without
fundamental
brokers,
issue.
I
The
just-
fundamental issue is, guys, trucks equal energy, assets equal energy, and what you've got to do is you've got to make the business decision to say, hey, I'm going to invest my energy in assets, have my risk versus reward exposed, or move forward in a brokerage direction where you've got at least some monetarily control over your in and out cost. Would you not agree, sir?
Yeah, I mean, our exposure, yes. I mean, my exposure as a broker is I've got really three parties to to try to satisfy: the customer, the carrier, and the agent that works in my office.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you have a happy employee and that does well and is financially incentivized and works in a good environment, they're gonna treat your customer, and your customer, I'm defining the customer as the carrier or the shipper,
Yeah.
well. So
I just
Well,
it's
well,
crazy
the
to
way
me
the way I sell it to my people is that you're the hinge, okay, between all stakeholders. You're the hinge with the driver, the carrier. You're the hinge with the shipper, the receiver, and the direct bill customer. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I just don't, like I said, it's just getting to the point where it's just like I'm seriously getting sick of watching this on TikTok. Where, like I get it, man. Look, there's a lot of bad brokers, a lot of shitty brokers, a lot of asshole brokers. There's also the same amount of trucking companies and drivers that are the same way. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what side you're on. It just matters what type of person you are. So you could be an asshole on either side. But then when you start talking about like capping, freight brokers at 3%, like you just said, there's no way you would even stay. Like nobody would be a freight broker at that point because it wouldn't make no sense. Like 3% is just like absolutely nothing, to take the risk. Like it wouldn't even make sense for you to be a one-man operation for 3% as a freight broker. Like you just
So let me ask to the freight broker, what is your concern in regards to booking freight with drivers that don't speak English? Is that coming up on your radar?
every day,
And how is that? Are they talking about holding the broker responsible, or having some part in potentially, because I get calls, of course I talk to the broker and I speak perfect English, but for you to call the driver and the driver doesn't speak English, is that beginning to be a requirement from the shippers?
a lot of the shippers it is. So keep in mind, there's a few things that the shippers are concerned about, or every party involved is concerned about. I would think you're worried about liability on the road, and you're worried about your carry. I mean, your shippers the driver is the face of the shipper, whether the shipper or the broker like it or not. When that shipper arrives at a delivery to the shipper's customer, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's the face of their company.
Right, but if you're booking, I hear what you're saying. But
People are becoming more and more sensitive to a guy who can't speak English or follow simple directions just because of a barrier in communication.
But I think if he's asking for the brokers they can't be responsible because the dispatcher could book the load and give it to the driver. Like the brokers don't always talk to the thing, right? But I mean, like the shippers could start requesting this because it's their freight, so they don't want somebody getting pulled over to the weigh station, fail PTOS, and then their freight stuck at a weigh station out of service.
That's a great point. We've had that happen in Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm going to book something. If I was a broker and I book a load, and I'm going to be like crapping myself if the guy gets pulled over in a DOT sting and he doesn't speak English. I mean, it seems like it would be paramount now for you guys to say, hey, we better CYA because this guy may not speak English. We better make damn sure he does, because then your freight's going to be sitting at a weigh station.
No,
right?
he said
Right.
this, but he said
And
they're
if you
doing
got-
it, but
you know,
you can't.
obviously-
Sorry, but you can't prove it because, like, how many dispatchers will call and act as a driver? So you can never hold the broker responsible for that. There's no way they can verify that 100%.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think about responsibility
Right. So they
necessarily,
do try, but it's still looked at as.
in an inadvertent
Go-
way.
go ahead, I'm
if
sorry.
if in an inadvertent, responsibility from if you're the face of the shipper and you're going to book the load, well, like you said, you got three parties to keep happy. If the guy ends up at a weigh station and he's lost, he can't drive, then your load's delayed and you're sitting there, looking terrible, right? Makes you look bad.
Yeah, you
right?
don't look good. Sure, and your job as a broker is to be fully transparent with your shipper and say, hey, listen, you can't put that off. You've got to let them know immediately your freight is at a wait station, or or whatever the reason is, drivers broke down or whatever. But in this particular instance, I'm sorry, now you've got a situation where, to your point, where you might have to send another truck in there to recover the load, a power only unit, and you start looking at costs that you're going to eat as a broker,
yeah.
probably.
I would think, I think it's going to really come front and center in many different facets, but I think it's fascinating how it's going to end up roping in the broker. Whether they hold them directly responsible is one thing, but the broker themselves, like you said, you're going to be out of business if you start sending out power only units. That's going to eat your profit out.
If you have a good relationship with the customer, bro, shit happens, bro. This isn't the first thing. Dude,
Sure.
you know how many crazy situations like, you have to call your customer and be like, dude, you won't believe what happened, buddy. But
True.
So I mean, like,
I can't make this one up, but here's what's going on now. Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
So
Right.
like, as long as you got a good relationship with them, I don't think you're gonna lose a customer over. As long as you make it right. If you got to send a power only, you got to send a power only, bro. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to eat a dick. Sometimes you don't eat a dick. But
I hear you, but we're talking they're speculating over 300,000 of these drivers right now. So you start talking about doing the math on how many brokers are going to be eating the cheese. I think that it's going to come front and center.
well, I mean, we just went over the
Front and
numbers.
center.
Sorry,
Front
go
and
ahead.
center for me right now, for my office, just to tell you guys, front and center for is double broker and cargo theft and identity theft. That's the hot topic in my office.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Cargo
To
theft.
make sure you're
Absolutely.
getting we're seeing a ton, and we're doing everything we can to prevent it.
What do you guys?
I mean, I can tell you story after story where a guy's email was hacked, Federal Motor FMCSA was hacked, and we called them. We're even calling the carrier back and saying, "Hey, David just booked this load in your company's name. I just want to make sure it's okay for him to book loads."
Yeah.
And David's not here today. Well, someone named David just called in, and we verified that that's not he. We've caught that.
So what are you guys using
people-
to fight this? If you don't mind me asking, so far, like, what are your procedures that you're using to double check this?
All right, so we're using my office. We use jot forms. We use geofencing. We get a picture of the side of the truck.
Yeah.
Again, the first thing we do is what I just mentioned. We're going to call back the number in our system, and we're going to say, and we'll say, "Hey, just David. I just want to make sure David just booked a load with us." Oh yeah, David's right here beside me. Da da da. Then we get a picture of the side of the truck. Get a picture of the license plate.
Yep.
And the trailer. We verify all the insurance, and then we want to talk to the driver. I want to talk to him.
Verify insurance. Like how deep do you verify it?
We use Highway.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then
we use Highway.
So, but then say if somebody, because like right now I've seen instances when they like change the MCS 150 form like months back to where it doesn't even red flag that
Yep.
it was like changed, right? So are you paying attention to like these carriers or like these bull haulers or heavy equipment haulers for these companies that don't really do trucking that much and they don't pay attention to MCS 150? That's why they're getting changed. So are you taking that into consideration too? And like if you see like cattle hauler, bull hauler, like does that throw up red flags in your guys' system? Because I'm seeing
That's
a lot
a
of
red
those.
flag. Scheduled auto. Progressive is a red flag. Scheduled auto. Scheduled auto is a red flag. We're going to dig a little deeper. I'm going to want a picture of the VIN number of the truck from the driver's phone.
And then you brought up progressive
Because we're having instances where.
No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
When I was just going to say, someone, like I said progressive because a lot of those are going to be scheduled auto. That's why I just said progressive.
So is that why? Because we had a conversation about this earlier. So is this why a lot of brokers are not wanting to use progressive? Is because they got the scheduled autos, or is there other like maybe not paying out claims or anything like that?
Yeah, progressive is harder to get to pay out a claim.
Okay.
Obviously they're a huge company. Everyone knows their name, but it is you're gonna have a harder problem. You're gonna have. For an example, they'll have exclusions, driver error. Well, so if the reefer wasn't set to the right temp and they can say it's driver error, now we've got a way to get out of paying a claim.
Yeah, they're going to do.
And now I have to start looking at. Yeah, and now you're going to have to start looking at contingent cargo as a broker, and then you're going to start looking at deductibles, then you're going to start looking at making the customer whole, and then you're going to start looking at, is this a business decision to keep the carrier I mean, the customer happy. So speaking of, some exposure a broker has or things like that, we have
that's
to make
like,
business.
you know,
Oh,
We're going to
I
pay out
go
of pocket
through it
an
all the
extra
time,
60
guy.
grand.
so it looks like you
Say
guys
that
are
again,
on
I'm
top.
sorry.
It looks like you guys are on top of your shit. So that's good because a lot of this stuff is just like, like we discuss this all the time, and I'm just like really fed up with this like broker hate. And like all the shit you just mentioned that you're dealing with, and you said you're using Highway, right? Like I know like my carrier package is pretty good with that as well. They got a pretty good little system set up, but even my carrier packets, they're falling for these certificates being sent into them. Did you have that issue with Highway at all? With them, accepting like insurance that really wasn't from that company, or are they pretty on top of that?
No, they have to get the insurance has to come from the insurance agent.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It cannot come
Absolutely.
it cannot come from just a dispatcher somewhere cutting and pasting and copy and pasting.
Well, it's the same thing with my carrier package though, but they've actually been letting like shit. They've been messing up a little bit. That's why I'm asking if you've seen any mess ups on highway side. And then also, since we're talking about that, since you're using Highway, do you see that Highway does kind of like screw you from being able to work with certain carriers that might be good, just from all this stuff they have like in their system with like the VIN numbers from other trucks, addresses, IP addresses, like so on? Do you see that Highway is kind of like holding you back and kind of restricting some carriers that might be good from not being able to be used on their platform, or no?
We've seen a case or two. It's been the exception, not the rule. But keep in mind, that's not going to be the exception to that carrier. That's his livelihood. So you have to stand up and say, "Hey, guys, I had an instance where, I'd eaten lunch with the guy. I was like, I've eaten with the guy. This is really him. Like we ate Chick-fil-A together, so we're going to use him."
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I've had instances where we use, I'm trying to. Let me tell you this: we are starting to send our rate cons through Highway.
Okay.
Now I don't know enough about that to have much of a conversation because it just started in my office Monday. No, Friday. Was it Friday or no Monday? It started Friday. We talked about it Friday and started it Monday. And I'm only letting a few carrier support people do that. So we're just testing it out.
Okay.
So I'll know more about that soon, but.
So basically, it's probably
Because of stolen IP addresses.
rate cons to like certain emails that already like registered in their system that they know is verified, kind of deal.
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
Okay, then we got a good.
Yeah,
question.
because what's.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I got a good question here in the chat from Trucking 101. What do brokers think of Highway making their own load board, and are you pretty much like worried about them stealing customer information if you do, if they are using your stuff on their load board?
So it's they're owned by Triumph Factoring. They are, which is collecting all this data anyway. And my concern, not a concern, but they're going to give data a run for their money just because of the fraud that's happened with. I think I'm not concerned with them having customer information or carrier information. They've got rate information. They have rate engine stuff. I do think they're gonna disrupt the marketplace some, and it probably needs it. With this fraud stuff that's going on, it has hurt everybody. Brokers, carriers, double brokering. We can all tell horror stories. I can spend all night telling you horror stories. And I can tell you where we've made mistakes. Where even I, and you learn real quick. The minute you think you've got the fraud figured out, you're ahead of those guys. Is the minute you start losing. They're smart guys. They are smart.
I don't think they're too smart, to be honest with you. I just think the law enforcement doesn't give a shit. Like, the one thing that I don't agree with, I think Highway is going a little too hard on these like restrictions and stuff like that. I think if like law enforcement actually like investigated some of this stuff, that fraud would stop real quick. But they just don't give two shits, man. Obviously you probably experienced it a bunch, so you could probably see that more of this freight, if it does get found, it's not found by law enforcement, it's found by the insurance's investigators, right?
Yeah, we've had. I've never had. I'm hesitating before I say this. I cannot remember the last time any law enforcement found anything. To your point,
Yeah.
but I will say this: the fraudulent, the guys with the cargo theft and double brokering, some of them actually have gotten pretty smart. When you start hacking into people's FMCSA, We've had them set up fake insurance company. I've seen that before. I mean,
Sorry, we lost you there, buddy.
Let me ask you a question when he's coming back.
Mhm.
What is, with all the technology that's out there right now, what is going to stop like a really smart group to start like what an Uber does? When you just open the app and say you're ready and you get a load off of an Uber app, like an Uber driver picks up a client. What is going to stop that from happening?
The market, I mean, it's already stopped. Convoy tried doing some shit like that. That didn't work out. Uber does it. They have Uber Freight. You know what I mean? So I mean,
No, but I'm talking about the app on your phone. When I'm ready for a load, I just open the app, and then loads are right there, and or someone pings me and says, "Here's the load." Well, they know that everything's already been verified and everything, and the shipper just opens the app and says, "Load is ready," and then whatever the driver closest by or whoever accepts the load, they get it.
I mean,
Everything's completely verified through the app.
doing the same thing on a load board. I don't think that kind of technology is going to get there because it's all supply and demand. Just whatever you're at, how good the market is. So I just don't think one person's going to monopolize that to a point where it's that easy or that direct. And like it's been tried before. You know what I mean? A lot of people, but also tried that direct shipper to carrier. That doesn't work out. I mean, it's just a business full of relationships. Even if you have an app like that, it doesn't matter because most of their freight doesn't even hit the load board. You get it beforehand through people or connections you have. So it's like most of the good stuff's already picked through. Everything else that ends up there is just the leftovers.
100%. It's there's so much
Oh, you're
more
back.
relationship. If you want to really, really, really be successful in this business on any side of it, it's based on relationships. What your word's worth. We have so much freight that never, ever, ever hits a board. You call Jim up and you say, "Hey, Jim, I know you're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina Tuesday, right? All right, I've got that same load you picked up last week. Are you cool with it?" "Yep, that's fine. All right, it's on the way. Appreciate you." I mean, what's that worth to both sides?
Oh yeah, or if you
For
got
my
a trucking company
let
that
me
does
tell you,
volume,
yourself,
you just send them their
right?
lane nonstop. You don't even have to ask them. You just send it to them, and they do it every
Yeah,
single
and they
time.
know you, and you know them, and you know their kids' names, and you know their birthday, and you know that next Thursday they're not going to be there because it's their kid's birthday party Friday, and they want to be there for it or whatever. I mean, and that's when you start really. That's when it's not transactional based. They're a human. They're a person. You make concessions for each other. That's the guy that on my side, my dad had an extra 50 miles just because I had a load that I'm in a bind on.
Yep.
Or that's the guy that I'll throw an extra 50, 100 or $100 because I don't have to worry about it. I mean, that's
Paying for
the
peace
part
of
of
mind.
this business. Yeah.
100% agree.
Well, Bobby, he said the key word. The key word is transactional, and this is where Team Brown, they don't understand it. All they care about is passa, money, and they'll drop something for 2 cents, and they're not business acclimated enough in domestic North America to understand it's not transactional, it's relationship. And sir, I commend you, and I hope you come back in here again because I've thoroughly enjoyed you, guy.
I have to
Yeah, me
disagree a
too.
little bit and push back because I think everything's transactional because it's for profit. So I just think the business relationships help out the transactional part, but regardless, like if you really look at it, it still is transactional. Because I mean, even if you got relationships, if you pay somebody under the table, or like even if you have a relationship with Joe or whatever you said that you could give them freight, not worry about it. I understand you have that relationship with them, but regardless, it's still transactional because services are being exchanged. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying.
Right.
just
But I
Well,
get what
that's
you're saying. But I understand what you're saying.
so the
I was just going to ask a kind of an ancillary. Is there any consideration to brokers being required to use truck routing rather than Google and the zip code to zip code? Because me, like I'm running hazmat, if I'm having to take a hazmat route, it can often cost me an additional 100 miles because of hazmat routing.
You guys go ahead. I have no
Is
idea what the
that-
hell he's talking about.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. What I do, sir, and something like that is I'll take the miles and I'll probably add 4.5 to 5.2% to the miles and I'll run it by you, then I'll run it by the customer, and that way you have a fudge factor, and that's a valid point because Bobby, what he's saying is if he's under a hazmat move and he's got to take different roads than most carriers,
Mhm.
van carriers, reefer carriers. How is he getting compensated for that?
Well, that's
And-
his dispatcher's or his company's job to negotiate his exact mileage with the broker.
Exactly. So I suggested to him what I do. What do you do? Is it Bradley or Brady? What do you do?
Yeah, it's Bradley. So we're going to mark that up. Well, first of all, it's going to be marked up because it's hazmat,
Yeah.
especially if it's over 1,000 pounds. If it's under 1,000 pounds, it's a rule in my office. You have to tell them, hey, this has got 720 pounds of hazmat. They still need to know on the rate con
Yeah,
that
it's
it
like
does have
900 something
hazmat.
pounds, right? Is a
Yeah, I think it's 999 or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to tell you if it's got hazmat on the truck, even if it's under 1,000 pounds. Now, it becomes a pricing issue if it's over 1,000 pounds, right? Because that driver's got special, he's got placards and all that. So we're going to just mark the rate up. I'm going to look at that driver's dispatcher or his team to decide what his routing is. I'm not going to come in and do that. But we're going to pay more for hazmat. You got to. That's the market demands it.
Yeah, it's definitely your job. So if your dispatcher or whatever's negotiating with them, if they try to tell you it's 1,000 miles, and then you got to tell them like, no, it's 1,100, 1,200 miles because we have to take these routes because of these restrictions, and then you negotiate the rates. So I mean, it's definitely not on the broker. It's definitely on your dispatcher or your company to make sure that they calculate and negotiate properly for you.
And that makes
Valid
sense.
point,
But
guy.
at the same point, that truck routing system, you can plug in everything. You plug in type of hazmat, and then it seems like it would be easier for brokers to use that.
We
app.
can't. Your phone
Miles
your phone is breaking up super bad. But
hazmat.
I'm gonna have to mute him for a second. His phone's breaking up. All right, so
Okay, listen, I really
all right, listen, guys. I love this live. It was a very good conversation. Mr. Brad, if you don't mind, I'd definitely love to jump on. Maybe just do like a one-on-one conversation interview with you, if you don't mind. If you ever have some time, would be pretty cool. Because I think more people need to hear exactly like what happens in freight brokerages, and I think they need to like calm down with this cap on brokers and 3% on brokers and brokers suck and all that stuff. So, I will save your info.
Yeah,
and then-
I'll be more than happy. I'll talk. If you want to set up a time one evening, I'll be more than happy to share this. Bobby, the best thing, what you said earlier is so important. There's good brokers, there's bad brokers, there's good drivers, there's bad drivers. It's like like everything else. It's in every industry in the world.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I actually got to go do some real work. I meant to stay on for an hour, and we ended up going 2 hours. So, Brad, if you don't mind, just because I can't send you, I can't follow you through here for some reason. If you don't mind, just shoot me a DM so I have your contact info when we get together. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you guys next
You
time.
guys.
Have a good one. Get some monies.
Good call, everybody. Good call.
Later.
God bless.
Oh, Jesus Christ.